Welcome to another thrilling journey on the Dark World Hub, where the veil between the known and the unknown is thinner than ever. Today, we're venturing into the shadows of our world to explore the 10 most mysterious places scientists still can't explain. From the depths of the ocean to the heights of ancient ruins, our planet is dotted with enigmas that defy logical explanation. These are places where the laws of nature seem to bend, history is shrouded in mystery, and every stone tells a story of the inexplicable. So, grab your flashlight and let's illuminate the darkness together as we uncover the secrets that have puzzled scientists for centuries. Are you ready to challenge everything you thought you knew? Let's dive in. 10. The mysterious island of no return. Near Rudolph Lake in Kenya, there is a mysterious island called enigmatic, which means no return in the native Aboriginal language. The island is only a few kilometers long and wide, and the locals do not live on the island because they think the place was cursed, and the people who come here will disappear mysteriously and will never go back. British explorer Vivian Fuchs led an expedition in 1935 to explore the area, and his two colleagues, Martin Cheveries and Bill Dyson, traveled to this mysterious island first. 5 days later, two scientists did not return to the station. Fuchs dispatched the rescue team to that island, but they didn't find any sign of Martin's or Bill's presence or activity, and there was only a deserted Aboriginal village on the island. The island seems to have been completely abandoned. Fuchs also dispatched a plane to survey the island but found no clues. Local residents told Fuchs, many years ago humans lived on this island. They relied on fishing, hunting, and exchange of specialties with residents outside the island for a living. However, the islanders suddenly stopped going to the mainland completely. Several men went to the island to explore what happened. When they arrived, they were stunned by the sight they were seeing. The village was abandoned. The house was left intact, and the fish were still on the extinguished fire. Where did the island inhabitants go? The men left the island quickly and decided to not try their fate. Since then, no one except for birds ventured to go to the island again. 9. La Zona del Silencio, Zone of Silence. What is the Mapimi Silent Zone, you ask? Think of it as Mexico's land-based answer to the Bermuda Triangle. It's a patch of desert just 50 kilometers, 31 miles, across in the Mapimi Biosphere Reserve, near the Bolson de Mapimi in Durango. And if local legends are to be believed, it's weird, really weird. Legend says that in this area, electromagnetic transmissions cannot be received, radio doesn't work, compasses do not point to magnetic north, and the flora and fauna have abnormal mutations. Over the years, stories of alien encounters, falling hot pebbles, and all sorts of paranormal activities have been drawing tourists and curiosity seekers from all over the world. The myth started in July 1970, when the U.S. military base near Green River, Utah fired an Athena test missile toward White Sands Missile Range. The missile lost control, and instead of landing on the intended target, continued 400 miles south and fell in the Mapimi Desert region. Immediately, a team of specialists arrived to find the fallen rocket. When the rocket was found after 3 weeks of intense search, an airstrip was built to transport the wreckage. The entire operation was very hush-hush, consistent with government procedure. The phenomena is now claimed to have been first reported in the 1930s by Francisco Sarabia, a Mexican pilot, who claimed that his radio had mysteriously failed to function while flying over the zone. Statistically, close to impossible numbers of meteorite fragments are scattered far and wide throughout the zone. Some theorize that abnormal levels of natural magnetism are strong enough to account for drawing iron-based meteorites, even space junk, debris from human-made technology in decaying orbits around Earth, including spent rocket stages and damaged satellites. But while meteorite showers are nightly events, the Allende was the largest of its kind to ever fall to Earth. For clarity, Allende is a rare type of meteorite composed of metals, carbons, hydrocarbons, even amino acids and water, the fundamental stuff of life. The Zone of Silence Allende is considered to be the most significant meteor to hit Earth in modern times. With an electromagnetic field measuring as strong as that of the North Pole, researchers suggest that it is no surprise that the zone draws high amounts of metallic compounds, from meteors to space debris. This also accounts for spinning compass needles and poor radio and cell performance. Unusual plant and animal mutations remain unexplained, but the larger question remains: why is the zone an anomalous center of almost off-the-charts electromagnetism? For decades, zone residents have observed intricate aerial choreographies involving trembling racing points of light. The lights travel at high speed and blink in and out of visibility. Some shoot out of the desert floor. On a September evening in 1976, a huge craft was seen hanging silently on the outskirts of Ceballos. Residents gathered to stare at the silent ship, estimated to be 200 to 300 feet long. Witnesses said it was rectangular with a curve at the top and glowed with luminescence. All confirmed colored lights, white, blue, and green, at the edges of the craft. Dogs howled in distress and pigs squealed. The town mayor said all the townspeople had the sensation of being watched and began feeling panicky. After hovering for a few minutes, the craft started to move away. Police Chief Chaparro said that he reported the event to authorities in Durango, but heard nothing more. Within the zone, there are plenty more unexplainable findings, such as 6-mile-long rectangle-shaped earthen platforms. A hill formation, discovered by botanist and zoologist Luis Maida, Ph.D., appears to be human-made and is covered in non-local stone specimens. Ancient relics, including a human head carved from stone, have been found nearby. For now, biological and environmental research continues, but the mysteries of the Zone of Silence remain unsolved. 8. Death Highway, Idaho's Bermuda Triangle. In the world of unexplained disappearances, spooky instances of lost communication, and unnatural fatalities, the Bermuda Triangle, also sometimes referred to as the Devil's Triangle, is a loosely defined region with a reputation that defies all reason. You won't find it on any official map, and you won't know when you cross the line. But according to some people, the Bermuda Triangle is a very real, tangible place where dozens of ships, planes, and people have disappeared without explanation. But according to local lore, Idaho has its own mystery triangle, and few people know it exists. On the state highway in Idaho, United States, about 14.5 kilometers from Lime McMurray, there is a horror rollover zone. Rumor has it that dozens of cars have been involved in mysterious accidents on the lonely stretch of road between Conda and Caribou National Forest Road. Wanda Peavy, 1994, claimed a band of apparitions caused her to swerve off the road. David Massett, 1989, stated that he felt his car sliding as though on ice, despite driving in the middle of summer. There are nevertheless dozens of reports of strange apparitions and unexplained forces at work moving vehicles off the road. If the stories are true, the leading theory is that 3 magnetic anomalies contribute to the Idaho-Bermuda Triangle. The unique magnetic forces of nearby Yellowstone, the spiritual forces of former Native American residents in the region, and the seismic forces of Idaho's underground geology at work. What do you think, local legend or real possibility? Have you ever heard any stories about this area? 7. Nazca Lines in Peru. These mysterious lines are a series of ancient geoglyphs in the Nazca Desert, with the largest figure being 1,200 feet long. Experts believe that these lines, with some resembling Paracas motifs, were created by the Nazca culture between 500 BCE and 500 CE. Many of these large geoglyphs are just simple lines and shapes, while others are more complex and resemble animals, including birds, llamas, fish, monkeys, and even human figures. Removing natural reddish pebbles and uncovering the white ground underneath created these ancient figures. There isn't any real reason as to why these lines were created, prompting conspiracy theorists to float ideas about alien landings and ancient astrology. However, scholars believe they have religious purposes, most likely to have been a ritual communication method with the Nazca's deities. 6. The mystery of the Baalbek Foundation Stone. Like the pyramids of Egypt, the ruins at Baalbek contain stonework still unexplained in modern archaeology. Though studied by archaeologists for over 100 years, the ruins at Baalbek, Lebanon contain a few structures that still defy explanation. The Baalbek foundation stones, particularly the huge blocks known as the trilithon, are one of the great mysteries of the ancient world. These massive blocks weigh in at 1,000 tons each. Compared to the stones used in the Great Pyramid of Giza in Egypt, the largest being 80 tons, it is unknown how the blocks were set in place. Given that the erosion is greater on the surface of these foundation stones in comparison with the blocks of the Temple of Jupiter, it is assumed that these were already in place at the time of Roman construction. A wealth of information exists out there about the Baalbek foundation stones, but no one can come to a conclusion about the techniques used for this enigmatic feat of engineering. Some claim lost technology. Others claim the existence of advanced Paleolithic societies that disappeared from history. Some others even claim extraterrestrial intervention, but all of these are simply conclusions based on a lack of evidence. It may never be known how the Baalbek foundation stones were cut, moved from the quarry uphill, then arranged precisely, but it is fun to think about. 5. The Great Pyramid of Giza is one of the most famous structures in the world, and yet it remains shrouded in mystery. Constructed over 4,500 years ago, the pyramid is the oldest and largest of the 3 pyramids in Giza. It was built as a tomb for the pharaoh Khufu, and is said to have taken over 20 years to complete using an estimated 2.3 million stone blocks. Despite the pyramid's fame and the attention it has received from archaeologists and historians over the years, many mysteries still surround its construction and purpose. One of the most intriguing questions is how the ancient Egyptians were able to transport such massive stone blocks to the site and then lift them into place to build the pyramid. Some theories suggest that ramps may have been used to move the blocks, while others propose that some kind of pulley system may have been employed. Another mystery surrounding the pyramid is the purpose of its various chambers and tunnels. The pyramid has several interior chambers, including the King's Chamber, the Queen's Chamber, and the Grand Gallery. The purpose of these chambers is still debated by experts, with some suggesting that they were used for religious ceremonies, and others proposing that they may have had a more practical function, such as serving as a burial chamber. Despite the many unanswered questions about the Great Pyramid of Giza, it remains an awe-inspiring testament to the ingenuity and architectural prowess of the ancient Egyptians. Its size, precision, and complexity continue to amaze visitors from around the world and inspire researchers to uncover its secrets. 4. The mystery of the crooked forest. Nobody knows what happened to the pine trees in this strange and eerie forest. To date, it remains a mystery. In a forest near the town of Gryfino, Poland, there are 400 pine trees with unusually curved trunks. The trees' trunks take a sharp 90-degree turn, and then curve to form a shape resembling the letter J. There are many theories on the mystery, although there is little to no evidence to support any of them. Some hypothesize that a unique gravitational pull in this particular area caused the trees to grow curved northwards, but this theory does not hold up to basic scientific scrutiny, given that gravity pulls things downward and not at a curve. Others guess that the heavy snowfall in the area weighed down the trees as they were sprouting, causing them to grow crookedly at the base. But this theory does not explain why other groups of pine trees and assorted vegetation in the same area were not affected. Some suspect that the trees were grown for the rims of wooden cartwheels, as the grain direction would have produced very tough wheels. The most widespread and most likely explanation is that local farmers planted and manipulated the trees when they planted them in 1930, but it is estimated that the trees were 7 to 10 years old when they experienced the force that resulted in trunk curvature. 3. The legend of the Lake Michigan Triangle. The mysterious phenomena of the Michigan Triangle first came to light in 1891 when a schooner named the Thomas Hume set off across the lake to pick up lumber and disappeared overnight along with its crew of 7 sailors. Hackey and Hume send out a search vessel, offering a steep reward for the ship's discovery. Nothing is found, no reward is claimed, and not a single piece of floating wreckage is left on the water. 21 years pass, and now it's November 22, 1912. A world war is on the horizon, and a new generation of sturdy Wisconsin sailors is traversing the Lake Michigan waters. This time that old fortunate vessel, the Rouse Simmons, is on another run, transporting Christmas trees from Thompson, Michigan to Chicago. Captain Herman Schooneman helps load the boat full of Tannenbaums and invites the Michigan lumberjacks to catch a free ride to Chicago with them, if they want it. The crew of 16 along with the extra lumberjacks set off into the waters. Again, the ship never arrived to its destination. The ship was spotted sailing in clear conditions with a distress flag flying. A lifeboat is sent out to provide aid, but when it arrives, there is nothing to find. Again, there is no wreckage. A year later, Christmas trees begin to wash up along the shore. A fisherman in Two Rivers catches Captain Schooneman's wallet also a year later. No further trace is discovered. Both of these shipwrecks, uncharacteristic of the normally placid and easily navigable Lake Michigan, occur within one specific triangle, west to Manitowoc, Wisconsin, east to Ludington, Michigan, and south to Benton Harbor, Michigan. And these are only 2 wrecks of a much longer list. Even the deadliest open water sinking on the Great Lakes occurred in this triangle, the sinking of the Lady Elgin in 1860. A wooden steamship, the Lady Elgin collided with a smaller boat, the Augusta, which went on to sail safely to harbor. But the Lady Elgin continued taking on water until it sank, dragging 300 passengers to their deaths. Another ship in 1921, set sail with 11 passengers. The Rosabelle is a two-masted schooner used to transport supplies to the Benton Harbor House of David. Yet again, the ship fails to reach its destination, except in this case, the wreck hasn't disappeared. The ship is found floating upside down with no trace of a single passenger. Examining the hull, there appears to be evidence of a collision, but no other vessel is found, and there are no reports of an accident. The Coast Guard determines there was no collision, and the 11 crew members are never found. On June 23, 1950, Northwest Airlines Flight 2501 is flying from New York City to Seattle with 58 people on board. Over the Lake Michigan Triangle, Captain Robert Lind radios in to request permission to descend to 2,500 feet due to a severe electrical storm and high winds. Permission is denied, and then radar goes dark. No word from the captain, no sign of the plane. Flight 2501 is gone. A search commences. Lake Michigan is dragged for wreckage. As you might have guessed, no wreckage is found. No definite explanation links the several bizarre incidents that mark this triangle of Lake Michigan, and of course one can make a rational argument to explain every one of them. But as the coincidences mount and the darkness on the horizon grows closer, there's no denying the eeriness of this particular tale. 2. The Temple of Dara in Syria is one of the many ancient and marvelous temples in the country, but it has a fascinating story to tell. The temple has huge human footprints that appear at its entrance, and they have been there for at least as long as the temple has been standing, which is at least 3,300 years. There is disagreement about how they got there. Scientists and archaeologists claim that the footprints were carved by the same people who built the temple and are meant to represent the god's procession into the temple's inner chambers. Still, many local legends say that the temple itself was visited by a great god with clawed feet who left the imprints himself. Yet, another school of thought claims that the people who built the temple were giants. What do you think? 1. The Moai of Easter Island are some of Earth's most striking and mysterious archaeological discoveries. These massive statues, carved from volcanic rock and weighing up to 75 tons, were created by the Rapa Nui people of Easter Island between 1100 and 1680. One of the most baffling aspects of the Moai is how the Rapa Nui people could carve and transport these enormous statues with limited resources. The statues are located all over the island, and some even stand in a row facing the ocean. The purpose of the Moai is a subject of speculation. Some experts believe that the statues were erected to honor ancestors or as a way to communicate with the gods. Others argue that Rapa Nui society used them as a symbol of power and status. Still, others suggest that they were created to help guide navigators at sea. In recent years, researchers have discovered that the statues were transported using a system of ropes and wooden sleds, and that the Rapa Nui people had a sophisticated understanding of engineering and construction. These findings have helped to dispel some of the myths surrounding the Moai and have provided a deeper understanding of this fascinating civilization. As we draw the curtain on our journey through the 10 most mysterious places scientists still can't explain, it's clear that our world is brimming with enigmas that challenge our understanding and ignite our curiosity. From the depths of the ocean to the far reaches of space, these mysteries serve as a humbling reminder of the vastness of the unknown that surrounds us. Remember, the journey doesn't end here. There are countless more mysteries waiting to be uncovered, and each one holds the potential to change our understanding of the world. So, keep your mind open, your curiosity alive, and join us again as we continue to explore the unexplained and the unknown. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell to stay updated on all our future adventures into the mysterious. Until next time, keep questioning, keep wondering, and never stop exploring the dark corners of our world.